is Alina. This started happening a few weeks after I moved into my new apartment. I'm 25, and this was the first place I'd ever had completely to myself. Before that, it was always roommates, shared spaces, noise at all hours. I thought living alone would feel freeing, quiet, safe even. The apartment itself wasn't anything fancy. Just a one-bedroom unit on the third floor of an older building tucked into a quiet suburban area. My window faced a narrow street lined with parked cars and a row of trees that blocked most of the view beyond that. For the first couple of weeks, everything felt normal, peaceful even. I got into a routine pretty quickly. I work remotely, so I'd spend most of the day inside, occasionally stepping out for groceries or a walk. I barely spoke to anyone in the building. There was a guy across the hall who always had headphones on, and an older man downstairs who smoked on the steps, but that was it. The first time I noticed something off, it didn't even register as important. I was coming back from a late evening walk, maybe around 9:30. As I turned the corner toward my building, I saw someone standing near the entrance. He was just leaning against the wall, looking down at his phone. I didn't think much of it. People linger around buildings all the time.
As I got closer, he stepped aside to let me pass, but he didn't say anything, not even a nod, just watched me as I unlocked the door and went inside. It was a little uncomfortable, but nothing that felt threatening. At least, not then. The second time was a few days later. I was looking out my window while on a call, pacing around like I usually do. That's when I noticed a dark-colored car parked directly across the street. It hadn't been there earlier. The engine wasn't running, but someone was sitting inside. At first, I couldn't tell if they were looking at anything specific, but then I realized the angle of the car, the way it was positioned, it lined up almost perfectly with my window. I told myself I was overthinking it. Maybe they were waiting for someone. Maybe they lived nearby. Still, I found myself stepping slightly to the side, out of direct view, just in case. When I looked back a few minutes later, the car was gone. That's when I started paying attention. Over the next week, I began noticing that same car more often. Not every day, but enough to feel like a pattern.
Sometimes it would be parked in the same spot. Other times, a little further down the street. And every time, someone would be sitting inside. I never got a clear look at the driver's face. It was always just out of view, like they were deliberately keeping their head low or turned slightly away. I tried to ignore it. I really did. I kept telling myself there were 100 normal explanations. But then, something happened that I couldn't brush off. I go to the same convenience store a few times a week. It's about a 10-minute walk from my apartment, down a different street entirely. One night, I went there around 8 to grab a few things. As I was standing in line, I got that weird feeling. The kind where you just know someone is looking at you. I turned slightly, and there he was. Same guy from outside my building. I recognized him immediately. Same posture, same blank expression. He was standing near the back of the store, pretending to look at something on a shelf, but his eyes kept flicking toward me.
My stomach dropped. There was no reason he should be there. It wasn't on the way to anything, and it definitely wasn't close enough to just be coincidence. I paid as quickly as I could and left, trying not to make it obvious that I was rushing. As soon as I stepped outside, I felt it again. That sense of being watched. I didn't turn around right away. I just kept walking, gripping my bag tighter than I needed to. When I finally glanced back, the door to the store was swinging shut. I didn't see him, but I knew he was behind me. I took a different route home that night. Longer, more complicated. I even stopped at a random corner for a few minutes just to see if anyone would pass by. No one did. When I got back to my building, I locked the door behind me and went straight to the window. The car was there, parked in the same spot as before. I couldn't see inside clearly, but I knew. I just knew it was him.
That night, I barely slept. After that, things escalated quickly. I started noticing small things that didn't have easy explanations. Like how the car would appear shortly after I got home, no matter what time it was. Or how I'd occasionally hear footsteps in the hallway outside my apartment, stopping right near my door, then continuing after a few seconds. Once, I even thought I heard someone try the handle. Just a faint movement, like a test. I froze when it happened. Didn't breathe, didn't move. After a few seconds, it stopped. The next morning, I checked the door. Nothing looked out of place. No scratches, no damage. But I knew what I heard. I finally called the police. I didn't have much to give them. Just a description of the guy, the car, and a vague timeline of everything that had been happening.
They said they'd patrol the area, but without anything concrete, there wasn't much they could do. For a few days after that, the car disappeared. I almost convinced myself it was over. Then I found the note. It was slipped under my door. No envelope, just a single piece of paper, folded in half. I saw it when I woke up and went to get some water. At first, I thought it might be a notice from management or something. It wasn't. It said, "You should really keep your lights off at night. It makes it easier to see inside." My hand started shaking so badly I nearly dropped it. That was it for me. I didn't wait. I packed what I could, called a friend, and left that same day. I didn't go back alone after that. I had people with me every time I returned to grab the rest of my stuff. I moved in with my sister across town, thinking distance would solve the problem.
For a while, it did. No car, no sightings, nothing. I started to relax again. Until last week. I was coming home late, around 10, after meeting a friend for dinner. As I turned onto my sister's street, I saw a car parked a few houses down. Dark colored. Engine off. And the worst part isn't even knowing for sure. It's realizing that wherever you go, they might already be there first. Someone sitting inside. I slowed down without meaning to. As I got closer, I could feel it. That same feeling I'd had before. That quiet, suffocating awareness. I didn't stop. I just kept driving. Pulled into the driveway and went inside without looking back again. But I already knew. Because some things you don't forget. The way someone watches you. The way they wait.
And the worst part isn't even knowing for sure. It's realizing that wherever you go, they might already be there first.